Welcome to The Planet Forward with Preetha. Conversations for a greener future. The place where we ignite discussions and uncover innovations driving us towards sustainability. Every episode, join your host Preetha as we explore the stories, ideas, and pioneers making a real difference in our world. Get ready to be inspired, learn, and be a part of the change that propels us forward to a greener tomorrow.
Welcome to today's episode of Planet Forward with Preetha. We are honored to host Mr. G. Roy DeFiva, the Deputy Director of Finance at the Banyan. With an impressive career spanning over 30 years, Mr. DeFiva brings an invaluable wealth of experience in finance, banking, taxation, and channel management. His strategic acumen and dedication have been crucial in driving the Banyan's financial strategies towards excellence, ensuring that this pivotal organization continues to effectively support mental health initiatives with robust financial health. Today, we'll explore the intricate balance of managing finance in a non-profit setting that is deeply intertwined with social goals and the impact of financial strategies on organizational sustainability and growth. Thank you so much, Mr. Roy, for joining us. I'm really, really happy to have you on the show today.
Thank you, Preetha. Good morning, and maybe it's good evening to you. It's great. Thanks for your introduction, and I'm happy to be with you for a few minutes from now on. Thanks a lot.
Oh, you're extremely kind. I'm so happy. Even if it's going to be midnight for me, I've made it a promise to myself that I'll ensure that I interview all of the Banyan leadership. So I'm really grateful that all of you agreed to be on the show. So the first question I want to ask you is like, I know
Yes.
you have 30 years of experience in the industry, but then you've come to Banyan 3 years ago. And you've supported mostly in your career is for-profit organizations, and there is a pivot, a change when you come to support a non-profit organization because it's a totally different mindset. It's not what you do when you support a for-profit is your lens is different. When you support a non-profit, your lens is different. So then what inspired you to join the Banyan, and how has your extensive background in finance and banking shaped your approach to handling the finances of a non-profit organization?
Yeah, true. It's a very good, well organized question. See, I've spent a lot of my 30 years in an organized setup and in more multinational companies. I started my career from Kodak. Kodak was one of the first multinational company I worked there, and after that I jumped to five different multinational companies. And later I'm able to choose Banyan as one of my year-end career, my end career. As I felt that Banyan should be my best career for the last of my end of my career. I will not say end
Encourage
of my
and
career. This
but
is
to you wanted to have some space wherein you feel content when you're giving back, so
yes,
you
this is
chose
a
an
service.
organization serving to. Okay, that's wonderful.
So that's a main motive behind this. And when I choose this career, because the challenging things are all this in accounting. Accounting is a common man's thing. There is no change in a corporate as well as an NGO. But there are things are there comparing a corporate and an NGO. What is that? The compliance is more in the NGO,
Yeah.
especially on the government statutory compliances and the way in which accounting is happening, because all donors, all this is a donor based and expenditure based accounting. That's what
Yes.
I. So whenever we look into things, so we give more focus on expenditure accounting. Expenditure accounting in the sense the donor gives a specific amount towards a specific project. So we always ensure that we monitor that the funds are getting utilized in such a manner in which it has been allocated. So it is a
Okay.
donor-based accounting, so that we will be able to explain to the donor this amount has been given to us, which has been used for the purpose which for it has been implemented. So that's the way it works out. Apart from that, what I felt that accounting as an experience to me is an extremely and vast area, and
Yes.
and touchwood, Banyan has put in 30 years of experience, and we see that the growth from year on year, it is massive, and we are able to touch each and every heart of human being in India. And we spread across and yes, and our founder has made it herself that is an objective that we have to reach each and every corner across India. So as of today, we have presence across India, and also we spread our existence in Sri Lanka as well as in Bangladesh, and they are also it's keep on spreading. Yeah, and most over that, most over the accounting as such, particularly if we want to give an example or anything, that I felt that accounting has got a very, so unless until we have a proper monitoring system in accounts, we will not be able to give a guidance to our program leaders how much money is spending with them and how much money is balanced so that they can spend over. So this is because all money is not is a planned money, and whatever we get, then only we can spend, because it is unlike the other sector where we can generate income and we can do the business. Here it is, we get money, whatever we have, then we have to spend. So that's a channelizing thing, and that's based on which all our programs are running. So
that is a very eloquently you put that together, right? Like the shift in thought process. For profit,
yes.
You're not looking at it from an expenditure perspective, but for non-profit, everything is expenditure. And of course, then you have compliance and regulatory, which is an added thing, because especially if you have a lot of state laws you need to abide to, and if you're getting any international funding, then there is a whole nother thing that you need to take into account, like the FCRA, foreign currency, so those kind of things we have to take into account. So your mindset, your lens, what you're looking at it is totally different. And then you rightfully said the funding what you receive from different organization is project by project. So then taking all the expenses by project rather than looking at it from one pool of bucket, which is what normally the corporate organizations do for profit. Non-profit is like project centric, right? So you have to ensure that it is managed very effectively in order to for the continuity of the business also, right? Whatever work you're doing from a continuity perspective, that level of account maintenance is extremely important. So I think and what you said about your founders, when I was talking to the other leaders who I have been interviewing entire week this week, I was like in awe of the work that is getting done, and the amount of impact that you all have created, not just within India, outside of India, like you rightfully said, in Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, and you're trying to extend beyond that as well, is like simply amazing. You did not even let COVID impact you guys. You went online and you made sure that you're doing it. So I was very impressed when I was talking to you, to your team members. So thank you so much for bringing that highlight as well. Like, her vision, both your founders, Vandana and Vaishnavi's vision, and how she's built a beautiful, robust team of strong leadership who understands that vision and then takes it forward. See, any organization's success is the strength of the team. If the team is strong and they understand the vision and mission of the organization, then everything will fall in its place. It's a well-oiled machine and it'll go forward really well. So I think, the success of Banyan is because of this amazing team, I have to tell, because I've been very impressed with everybody I've spoken thus far.
Thanks.
You're very welcome. So the next thing I wanted to speak about was specific to finance at the Banyan, right? So could you start by giving us an overview of the finance department's role at the Banyan? Like, how does financial strategy intersect with the organization's mission?
Yeah, so that's one of the best things. This is in finance, in Banyan as a finance team, we have almost armored with almost 10 people in finance. So we structured in such a manner that we allocated our work, because the major portfolio in finance department is that we have to monitor the funds and ensure that the monitored funds have been utilized for the specific projects. Mm-hmm. And after that, we have to ensure that every donor, whoever gives the donations, we have to ensure that utilization utilization certificate has been provided to them at a proper time. So these are the major criteria behind which the finance department functions. And finance department also what they do is that they look into regular day-to-day activities, as well as giving sufficient information to the donors as well as the program leaders. If you see that we have been given a very good, we have been blessed with the wonderful donors like Asim Premji Foundation. And
Yes.
we have another the major foundations like Bajaj and Navratna Tata.
Infosys as well. I think Infosys, yes.
Recently they have started funding us, and we have programs like there are almost 5 major programs are there in Banyan, which takes care of peoples from the street, and we ensure that the people have been brought from streets to take into their homes. So that is the objective behind it. And our objective only to support homeless people who are having mental illness. So that is the objective behind it. And I'm very much proud to work in this behind this kind of objective. And I'm very thankful to Dr. Vandana and Vaishnavi for this, making this institution such a huge organization, making this institution's reputation grow along the world. So that's one major area. And particularly when we speak about finance board, we ensure that we always proactively ensure all the program leaders how much the balance we have, how much they spend, where the directions they are spending. If any direction is going beyond any kind of directions, we always alert them, because that never happens in our organization. And we always ensure that the funds are available, so that all the programs is done on a sustainable basis. Here in this industry, especially when we see is mental health, we need to have a sustainability, not on a yearly basis. We have to ensure that it goes till the end. So that takes, it's a long way, and we have to ensure we have sufficient funds to sustainably run these programs. So that is one of the main core area of an accountant. So what we do, we always ensure every year we give a proper budgeting, and we also ensure that all the expansions are taking place only with backed up finances. And we ensure that all the expansions and all the existing programs have been covered with sufficient donors. Such a way it works, because our fundraising team is working such a manner, very disciplined, and they know that how to organize funds, where to go and where to take out funds for. And we have to ensure that the donors are overall funding us, they are all into mental health program. So that's one of the biggest
biggest thing. So the partners also, you're making sure you're choosing the right partners who believe in the cause. Believe in the cause. That's extremely important, right? It should not be something like organizations are just doing it part of their CSR activities. It should not be. It should be something like they believe in the cause, and they understand that every rupee or the dollar that they're donating is actually going
reaches to the people.
And it's beautiful. And you spoke about the planning aspect, right? Which is very important. Like I think you have an AOP, annual operating planning going on, so that you make sure that you have every rupee accounted for what is going to be spent for the next fiscal year. So you know, like for 2025, what the forecast is. So you know exactly how much money you need to go and do the fundraising, so that that money is available for you when the projects kick off. So it's actually happening in a well-oiled machine manner, in a planned way, so that there's no any disruption in these projects, because like you rightfully said, these are projects which has to go sustainability. And I'm so glad you brought up that word, because that's all about the entire podcast is about sustainability. And when I talk about sustainability, it is not just in one particular realm I'm talking about. I'm talking sustainability across the board. And again, from a financial standpoint, it's so important, because the work what Banyan is doing is impacting thousands and thousands of lives. If there is any break or a pause in these projects, it impacts lives. Like you said, homeless people. So you have to ensure that there is continuity. There is no any pause or break. So effective planning, effective fundraising, and channeling the financial sources to the right projects is also important. So I think you rightfully brought, I love the way you compartmentalize and say. So I'm listening to it and I'm like, okay, I'm just putting a mental map in my mind and I'm like, oh, this is how it works. So I'm really grateful. Thank you.
Thank you.
So then I now, since you said about your annual operating budget planning, and so now I want to pivot to the other side, the challenges and solutions, right? Like every organization has its own challenges, and the reason why we have such a strong leadership in an organization is to come up with solutions for these kind of challenges. So what are some of the unique financial challenges you face in the nonprofit sector, like particularly in mental health? How do you
Yes.
address these challenges?
So thanks for the question, because this is one of the biggest area every NGO faces, especially because so there are in any organization there's a fixed expenses every
Yes.
month. Yeah. So meeting the fixed expenses is a wonderful exercise, and we have to work for that. But
Yes.
so as on date, unless until you have been blessed with proper corpus, it is very difficult to run a show with meeting fixed expenses, because
Yes.
NGO, any organization for that matter, we need to minimum spend little bit amount of money to run the show,
Yeah. To
to
keep the lights
sustain the.
on,
Yes.
that is
That's,
given.
so
You have
unless
to do.
until you have that money, it is very difficult. But we
Yes.
are ensuring that, especially we really we felt a lot of challenges in making the fixed expenses meet. So nowadays, see, because now a lot of other organizations have come forward, and they provide us a lot of corpus towards corpus work.
Oh,
So
beautiful.
any NGO which can survive and which can run beautifully, unless until they have a sufficient corpus, it is a little difficult to run on a sustainable basis. So in our case, we have been blessed with a sufficient amount of. We will not say 100% we have been supposed to with. I mean, sufficient with our corpus. Still, we are able to manage that. That is one. The second challenge what we face is that we have to be very cautious on the compliances. So if you miss
Yes.
out any issue, because it will trigger the other way around. It will even halt the whole program. So we have to be ensured, and we are very careful on looking into compliances with respect to local laws as well as the FCRA compliances.
Compliances.
FCRA compliance is one of the biggest challenge for us, and we have done with it, and we have no zero tolerance whatever we make any kind of non-compliances. So we ensure that 100% compliance with respect to local laws as well as FCRA compliances. So
So I
these
think
are
you have to work in tandem with your legal team, your
yes.
tax CPAs or auditors, and then so it's like a
So
three-pronged approach. So your
so that we
auditing,
have.
yeah. So your auditors, legal team, and accountants have to work so much in close proximity to ensure that, like you said, the regulatory and compliance is uh, not missed at all in any aspect.
And another challenge is that we always have every year we have a budget planning. So next year's budget planning happens in the big half, so second half of the previous year.
Previous year.
So,
So
so
you
we
are
start
forecasting
working on
it
the forecasting it
very ahead of the game
little
rather
earlier.
than, yeah,
Yeah. So
very
what
nice.
happens is then we'll give them the program teams gives the expansion plan as well as their existing. We cannot go beyond our existing plan. The existing plan have to continue from zero to the existing point. So then the new plans comes into picture. All this because we ensure that all this existing as well as the new plans is backed by any finance. So we have to alert all our fundraising team. We have a very good fundraising team, and they ensure that the funds have been kept intact to meet our expenses. So that is
Very
one.
nice. I think
We
it's a
also
very structured approach, right? You're making sure that you're planning so far ahead so that you don't have
yes.
any kind of surprises when it actually comes to the implementation stage.
And whenever we look for any expansion, we ensure that there is a backed up a plan for that. Then otherwise, we will not take up the plan. So that's the way it works. So in our organization, I've seen that every program team they takes finance as a part in every meeting. So we have every quarterly meeting. We also have a half yearly meeting, and we also ensure that all our expenses they like to see the finance performance on each project. So major project wise, they ensure that all this financial performance is happening as per the budget, and how it has been done, and what is the variance, how the variance can be reduced or increased or reduced, all that each and every line item wise they ensure that. See, the major ensure thing is that the other challenges what we face that we do outreach and we do CTI. It is called the critical time intervention, and that's the time when the patient's getting admitted into our facility, and we ensure that minimum to say 6 to 7 months of a treatment has been given. Then after doing the treatment, whether the patient is able to go reach out their home, they can go. Otherwise, we have to give them a substitute housing, either in our facility itself, or we have to ensure that they are being accommodated in a home again concept. So
Okay.
that's yet another program within our system. Once the treatment is over, people will be given some kind of self-sustained training programs, and this is clients. We used to call them as clients, not as patients. So these clients have been again given a training, technical training, and if they are self-sufficient, they'll be able to do their own job themselves, and they can, if they can identify themselves into their homes, they can be reintegrated. If they are not reintegrated, again they will be stayed in a separate setup. After hospitalization, they will go into the home again concept. So we hire out an house and we will accommodate them in five people in one house, 1 to 2 bedroom houses like that. So they have their own
So you have
technical
to plan a
jargon.
lot of hypothetical scenarios. You
Yes,
cannot say that, oh, after 6 months, this person is going to
We-
let go. No, you also
that's
have to
that's
have
exactly.
plan B, plan C, right? What if this person is not completely cured in that 6 months of hospital intervention? Then you'll have to think about going and rehabilitating them in another place like home again, and whatever is suitable for that. So you have to plan for that financial expenditure for that.
Every extension, yes,
Yes,
every
you have to plan.
extension takes a cost.
Exactly.
What
Yes.
what we are planning is that our reintegration and outreach and reintegration is there's a gap. Then we have to meet all these people's expenses. So what they now we are planning. Innovatively they're thinking into long term care, and are also having hostel facilities for them, and people who can able to work outside, and they can then look after themselves. So we'll give only a living facility for them. Otherwise, we will be those who are not able to go get into a job or not identify their houses. What we'll do is we'll give them full provisions, and we'll ensure that they are will be looked after. So all these things are this every month or every moment. It's a cost-effective movement.
Yeah.
So
So
everything
you
is a time extension, then there is a cost. That's the way it works out.
so you have
So
to plan so effectively. To you
yes,
need to have some surplus funds or buffer funds.
we should
Contingency always has to be there, because without contingency, you will definitely burn. So you have to. That is where the annual planning comes into play. So you know what is your, like, for instance, like I'm just listening through your conversation. Let's say your expenses for year 2024 is forecasted at 10 crores. I'm just giving you a number, and then that is your baseline for 2025, and then new projects you're taking up, so that you'll have to add on top of it, and you have to look at the funding source, and of course you have to calculate a lot of things like such as inflation and all the other things, and then you have to come up with a new budget for 2025 and with contingency. That's a lot of work. I'm just thinking through in my mind what you're
those are all our basics. Then after that, it comes into the project.
exactly. I know. I didn't want to go into the technicalities, but whatever you said itself is like I'm running it through my head, and I'm like, oh my God, that's a lot of work.
I don't want to disclose our numbers every
No, I
year.
know. I don't want you to either. That's the reason why I very hypothetically I said I would encourage nobody to disclose the number. That's not right.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Still, it is available in an annual report which is
I know.
published.
I actually got a copy of the annual report. I have it with me, so no problem at all. Yeah. So I want to ask you is like, okay, now we spoke about your journey. We spoke about, what entails in supporting a profit and a non-profit. And then we spoke about challenges and solutions. So now I want to speak about the financial strategies. Like I'm sure you have come up with your own financial strategies, which will work for an organization based on all the experiences that you've gathered working for different organizations over the last 30 years. So, can you share an example of a financial strategy you implemented at the Banyan that had a significant impact on the organization's ability to serve its community?
True. Very, very, very good. Direct question to finance, actually.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. And see, our NGO setup, as well as especially Banyan in the finance department, which actually we have given a very good freedom, and we can work independently in our department. So what we have done is, our first more focused plan is that whatever corpus money we receive, we plan to invest them in proper channels. So we ensure that the money is got, what the corpus money what we receive, we have invested in a different formats, in revenue generating formats. We have done that. So that was the first and foremost thing we did, and when we ensured that this money is all kept in a proper and secured investments, so that we can have a continuous income, so based on which we can run the program. That is one of the biggest thing we have done that. And second thing is that each and every money what we spend, we ensure that it goes in a proper manner. So every time when the money is spent, we ensure that people are focused on ensuring only spending only on the focused expenses. That is yet another thing we have ensured that. And apart from that, whenever we feel that the program money, each program it is being having a shortfall, we ensure that the fundraising team as well as the program people have been indicated in advance that there's going to be a shortfall going forward. So these challenges, the people have taken it into account, and they ensure that it has been compensated. So unless until we have a proper cash flow and cash flow management, it is very difficult to run the show. So that is one of these three things we always ensure that. And apart from that, in NGO setup, it is very difficult to manage working capital. In all other organized setup, we can do a working capital. But in NGO, I really felt that in my last 3 years experience, managing working capital is little different from the organized setup. So we don't have any confirmed receivables, as well as, if you see the other way around, we have confirmed payments.
Yes. Very true.
So
Exactly.
we don't have very confirmed receivables. It all depends on the contingency, how a CSR funding can happen, because we have to give our own projections, we have to give our own proposals, all that, because it has to work in tandem. Yeah, unless until we get in time, then there's a timing gap, then there works the working capital issues. So
Got
that
it.
if you miss out the cash flow, then really the whole program will end up into some kind of issues. So we are very keen, particularly on the working capital management, and ensure that a proper fund flow is happening within the organization, so that every fixed expense is met, and every program expense is met, and we want to make everybody happy. But that's in reality will not happen. But still, we ensure that at least 90% of the people is happy with all our programs. So
yes, you're striving for that. That is very good. So that's all we can do, right? Those are the things which is in our power, and what we can strive for excellence. And even if you meet 90% of that, it's absolutely wonderful, because unless there is if you get 100%, then there is no room for growth. We have to grow, we have to learn. Continuous learning is absolutely needed in any organization. Only then there is growth in any sector, be it profit or non-profit. So we'll work for the best. But I'd love the way you said, like, making sure that you're closely monitoring the financial numbers, and anytime you feel that there's going to be a deficit, you are making sure that that's been intimated to your fundraising team, to make sure that they know, okay, we need extra funds, and they, like you said, they know exactly who to go and request for funding. Because if it's a crucial project, you don't want the project to come to a halt because of a lack of funding. So I think it's that having that kind of a really good open channel of communication, and making sure it's transparency, right, in the way it's done, is actually important. In any organization, the transparent financial books is so helpful to understand the health of an organization as well. So thank you so much for bringing that into the insight.
Thank you.
So then I want to ask about, so now you spoke about how important it is to be transparent and making sure that the numbers at any point in time. And if there is a dip in funding or there's a deficit, then immediately you convey that message to your fundraising team. So now I want to ask about collaborations and funding, right? Like, so how important are collaborations and partnerships in securing funding for the Banyan? And could you describe your role in this process, like
Yeah.
the collaborative aspect?
Collaborative. See, we have recently, even in fact, for partnership itself, there is another department. So we have so 3 to 4 people. They are exclusively into partnership relationships and collaborations. And I should also thank Parama one side. Parama, she's in the Aditi and Albert. All these people are into partnership collaborations, and their approach. They are communicating our vision to the public world. That's what I feel. The role is,
Beautiful. Yeah.
and they until they go out and do their job, we will not get. And my special thanks to Milani also. She's a fundamental character who brings in lot of relationships to our organization. And in addition to our founders,
That's
that's
beautiful.
yes. So these people, and we have see they ensure that the relationship with the partners are so wonderful, and they ensure that it's lively always. And these are the live examples how we got a huge corpus from our Asim Premji Foundation, and we also got little support from McKinsey
Oh,
from
very nice.
US. And we also have major partners like Bajaj, Tata people, and one more major thing is that HCL. These are the major partners. Unless these people have a good relationship with them, we will not be able to continuously have support from these people. So
That's
that is
beautiful.
one of the wonderful things these people are
I
doing.
think these are the people who are on the ground. I would say
Yes, yeah,
the customer facing or the corporate facing people who has such a good rapport. And more importantly, right, these are individuals who believe in the cause. That's more important. Unless you are not believing in the cause, you won't be passionate about it. So I think having the right resources to ensure that you have good collaborators and partners to continue this good
yes,
work, what Banyan is doing is amazing.
yeah.
Do you want to take a pause?
Yes, because I want to charge my just 1 minute.
Yeah, sure. Awesome. So thank you for that, insight into how you closely work with the team who are into collaborations and bringing more collaborators from outside, and how important it is to keep the communication open between finance
That's
team and the collaborators is extremely important, because that's how the funding comes into the organization. And I believe because it's so transparent in the way you conduct business is also the reason why you have such great, amazing big corporates who have come forward to support the Banyan and its cause, is because the way the business is conducted in the organization as well. It's very, very clear. So now I want to come back to the advice part, where I started this conversations asking, like, you supported non-profit and then you went to non-profit, and it's a complete mind shift. It's like, so any individual who is aspiring to switch from corporate to a non-profit sector, what is your advice? I'd like for you to tell what are the things they should look out for, and what are the things they should not look out for.
it's actually it's a mindset, first of all.
Okay.
But
Okay.
if you at all you want to service a nation or service a society, you should have a mindset. See,
Yes.
any profit organization who works, there is a cost behind it, and there's
100%.
so it all depends upon the mindset of the people and how best you can be serviceable to the society. I felt, as if you ask me personally, I felt this industry is so wonderful, and at least at my fag end of my service, I need to do some service for the society. I felt that. So we have to, as a citizen, as an individual, in any point of time, we have to be serviceable to somebody else. So that's the motive.
I think
Nothing personal. I will even suggest most of all accountants at least once in the span of one time they have to spend little time on the NGOs.
Non-profit.
They do their best service to them, maybe at free of cost, if possible,
If
or at
possible,
least.
at least making sure that you're not looking at the remuneration perspective, you're looking at the
Yes.
service perspective. That
And
is
in fact,
beautiful.
myself also, I'm also extending my service to other NGOs wherever possible, wherever I meet them, I help them, and whatever advice they want, I definitely, whatever knowledge within my knowledge, I'm able to help them out. Not only in Banyan, I'm also doing that. It's without any conflict of interest. That's
That's
most
perfect. That
important.
is beautiful. And
So
I
that's the way I know.
love the way you said, right? Everybody have to at least think one stage in your life when you have completed all the major responsibilities, then think, what can you do with your life? Can I give back to the society in some way, either with your skill set or your time, whatever it is, because everything is important. Can you believe if everybody starts doing it, how beautiful this world will become?
Yes.
Selflessly, giving you
Be
your
very, very
skills.
peaceful it will be.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that is a mindset shift. You said that's a totally different mindset. You stop thinking everything for yourself and start thinking beyond yourself, something which is beyond outside your realm, and start doing it for the society. That's beautifully said, Mr. Roy. And so I have the last question for you.
Okay.
Future aspirations. So looking ahead, what are some of the financial goals you have for the Banyan, and how do you plan to achieve them?
That's a wonderful question. That I love that it's the last question also. Yeah. I have to say, my founder's vision is very, very huge. And it
That's
cannot be
beautiful.
it can fit into this
You
world
always
vision.
have to dream big. I
You know,
believe in that.
she dreams very, very big, and I love that because her vision is so high, and she wanted to take care of each and every individual who are mentally ill, and that I can feel from her that whenever she visits any of the facility, the way in which she hugs the clients, of the
Oh,
way
so
she
sweet.
lives. Wonderful. I really it takes me off. That's wonderful. That is so. That is one. And now of their plan is that they wanted to give long-term care. That's a new thing she wanted to bring in. So people who are with us more than there are clients with us more than they spend time more than 20 years
Oh,
with us.
wow. Oh my
Still
God.
living
Still,
with us. So
okay.
she still wants to continue when they are not able to go back to their homes. So what happens is she has planned out to give a long-term care for them. So she plans that I wish that will come true, and that will and then we have initiated this budgeted year itself. To this year itself, we budgeted that. So we ensure that at least the long-term care takes care of all these people who are not able to go back to their homes. So that is yet another milestone she wanted to achieve. So I'm very proud of that, and we wanted to do that, and we will go out of the way to ensure that these new objectives are kept in mind. So one is long-term care, and another point is that she wanted to do an hostel, and also she wanted to support people with independent living, supported living, all that. So these are the new areas she wanted to do that, and I pray that everything should happen in a nice manner, and it will take time. It is not as in a single year we can complete that. We have initiated all these new initiatives. This will go on. So
That's so
it will
beautiful.
take a long time. So
Oh my
that's a
God, what a vision, right?
yes.
Yeah, and so selfless, right? It's
Yes,
thinking about
that's
that is
yes.
the thing, right? Everything is not selfish here, it's selfless. Thinking about
Yes.
somebody who cannot go back to their homes after treatment and get assimilated to their normal,
Yes.
normal background, but she's thinking about how do you ensure that they are safe, they stay with
Yes.
you long term,
Exactly.
and they're
Yes.
able to continue their life on this universe. That's such a beautiful noble thought, and I wish and pray to God that all those dreams come to fruition, because there's millions and millions of people in India who will benefit out of it. And
True.
like I was telling to all the guests I have spoken thus far, I said I'm so jealous of all of you, and I'm
Yes.
telling this on record here, because you are part of such a noble thing, and I wish I can be of some help. I don't know how. that I want to be part of it, because this is what is real life is all about. That's the true essence of life. That is why I personally feel, that is why we all have come to earth, is to help each other in whatever way we can. But somehow human life has forgotten all that, and we're behind the rat race. And when I speak to every leader that thus far I've interviewed, everybody believes in the cause. They're complete, like, some of the individuals completely baffled me, you included, Mr. Roy. Like, you know 30 years of your life you spent with a for profit, and you decide, no, that's not what you want. That takes a lot of guts and courage to do it. And it's a totally different mindset. And sometimes people say, like, change is very difficult to people when you become older, because you're so set in your ways and you don't want to change anything. You want to still hold on to whatever you've practiced over the years. But you're completely defying that, because for 30 years this is how you led your life, and you're saying, no, I am ready to make a huge change, a drastic change, and go and support a non-profit sector, and I'm also helping other NGOs. That's again mindset. So change is not any age centric anymore. It is like what you think and what you believe in it. And so there are a lot of new things I'm learning just talking to all of you. And I wish I could personally be of any help to Banyan. I'm sure I will. I'll figure out a way to be very
Most
closely.
welcome.
I'll be, as today I was talking to one of the guests and she said, you have to come and volunteer. I said, I wish I was in India. I'll only be in Banyan, I told her. So I'm sure I'll do that. So as we come towards the end of this conversation today, I want to express my gratitude to you, Mr. Roy, for sharing your invaluable insights and experience with us. Your dedication to maintaining financial integrity and supporting the noble cause of the Banyan truly inspires us all. It's clear that the work you do not only ensures the sustainability of these critical mental health services, but also impacts countless lives by providing hope and support where it's most needed. So as we wrap up today, do you have any final thoughts for us today?
I really appreciate you because of the time zone where you are in, and you're dedicated your time for us. It's wonderful, and I'm very thankful to you. And it goes a long way.
Thank you so much. I wouldn't miss this opportunity for anything in my life. When I got confirmation that I can interview up to 10 leaders at Banyan as part of the campaign that I want to do for the mental health awareness, and the timings they said, I said, no problem at all. I'll take care of it. Although it's midnight for me, I said, no, that's not an issue at all. So I'll do it. So I am really grateful that all of you found time from your busy schedules and such a beautiful work you're doing to spend some time with me. So my heartfelt gratitude for that.
Thanks a lot. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you for being a pivotal part of this mission and for helping to lead the Banyan towards its future goals. To our listeners, thank you for joining us, and we hope today's episode has given you a deeper understanding of the crucial behind-the-scenes work that help drive positive change in our communities. Remember, each of us has a role to play in supporting mental health and creating inclusive societies. Until next time, keep moving forward, keep the planet forward. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to The Planet Forward with Preetha, conversations for a greener future. Together, we're exploring the innovations and stories that inspire us to think and act for a sustainable world. If you're inspired by today's conversation and want to be part of this journey toward a greener future, make sure to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform. By subscribing, you'll never miss an episode filled with groundbreaking ideas and actionable solutions. Let's continue to make a difference, one episode at a time. I'm Preetha, reminding you to make every day count for our planet. Until next time, keep moving the planet forward.